Good morning and hello there. I'm so glad you're watching. My name is Shaibu Johnson. This is News Echoes on Nigerian affairs. We want to look at what is going on in Nigeria, and if possible, we put some analysis on it. I have in the studio in the commercial city of Nigeria, Lagos, Bidi Nnana. Bidi, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you, Dr. Shegu. Thanks for having me once again. Our viewers all around the world, good morning. Thanks for joining us again today. Let's do it like
And
always.
yes, just like others. And in faraway Milan, we have the massive Mark. Mark Godwin, you're welcome to the program.
Good morning, Dr. Shagun. Good morning, PD. Good morning, viewers. Yes, it's good to see everybody again in the heat of Europe. We are taking it live again. Thank you.
Well, for the first time, we are feeling the heat in England. We hope it's going to last a few more days before we go into winter. But then, what can we say? This is summertime, and so we're looking forward to every heat for now. Seasons for everything. But let's talk about the Nigerian season. We all know that President Tinubu was inaugurated a few weeks back, and we've seen things go up and down, up and down. Many have said that he did not consider issues before stepping on them, especially the oil subsidy removal, the floating of the naira, which has led to the sinking of the naira. But let's leave that for now. Let's look at his activity on accommodation of opinions, other opinions. We have this information that the federal government of Nigeria dissolves an advertising body over all eyes on the judiciary billboards. Well, for those who don't understand that, let me break it down. There is this billboard that is promoting all eyes on the judiciary, and it simply means that everybody is waiting for the judicial pronouncement on the presidential election that puts Tinubu there. They believe that so many concrete things have been spoken, and they want justice. So they say all eyes on the judiciary. Well, in Nigeria, the judiciary in the past few years have not received much accolade. Many people believe that they have compromised so many times. That is not the discussion today. The discussion is about the dissolution of advertising standard panel that permitted such billboards to be raised. The Advertising Regulatory Council of Nigeria, in charge of regulating all advertising boards, felt that the advertising standard panel should not have permitted it to raise all eyes on the judiciary billboards. Bidi, you are in that country. Tell us more. Have you seen any of these adverts? To what effect has it affected many Nigerians putting their hope on the judiciary?
Well, yeah, I've seen it, but you will see more. This advert was actually in Abuja. Then, and the Nigerians putting their hope on the judiciary. I'll tell you, 10 over 100, I'll tell you that it actually decreased to maybe 40, because seeing what the judiciary has done over the few months into last year, a lot of Nigerians have actually lost hope in the judiciary, considering what happened with Chief Justice of Nigeria. So, but this, the President Tinubu and the Nigerian government doing this, it shows that, does it mean that dictatorship is loading in Nigeria? You understand? We say we run a government of the people, for the people, by the people, democracy, and you're just putting down this and dissolving because they did something, probably it is against your own will. That's not how to run a government. And Nigerians, many Nigerians has condemned it, and some too applaud to him. Because here, in as much as many Nigerians have removed their hope in judiciary, there are a lot of people who still stand with the president's government, which is President Tinubu, saying that he won the election and he needs to be there. So
Okay. Do
it
you
shows
think
that
do you think it will affect the minds of the judiciary? All eyes on the judiciary. Do you think some things will affect the mind of the judges?
it will affect the mind of people who have conscience. But one thing you should understand, the major judiciary in turn has already been bought over. The main judiciary, they've been bought over. And they've
Mm.
already made their conclusion on what they want to say. But their problem is this, they are like testing waters. How are Nigerians going to take it? What is going to be the reaction of Nigerians? That's just it. But
Okay.
affecting the mind of or changing their decision, I don't think it will.
All right. Thank you so much for that analysis. Mark in Milan, the government officials they claim that this may incite the people. Is that correct?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Yashagun. That was what the Director General of the Advertising Regulatory Council of Nigeria, ACON, that was what he said, Dr. Olalekan. But one interesting thing about this whole billboard is that it's called a diaspora initiative for good governance in Nigeria. So we're looking at it as a collection of diaspora organizations that are interested in the good governance of Nigeria, and that's a noble thing to do if the diasporas, Nigerian diasporas, are doing this. So
So they
taking
are the
it
ones
up like
behind the
this.
billboard.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. It's a diaspora. Actually, we have lots of them now. Since this last election, a lot of groups have emerged from the diaspora angle of Nigerians. And they are united. They all have one mission, and that mission is good governance in Nigeria. So this is coming from there. The diaspora in Nigeria can do a lot if they want to. The cash is there, because if you look well at that billboard, it's not a cheap one. And I want to tell BD, it's actually all over Nigeria, like we had. It's all over the states. Maybe you didn't see it in Lagos, but somewhere in a corner of Lagos is probably there. Then it's in Abuja, it's in Kaduna, they said it's all over Nigeria.
But
So,
Mark,
and that's
don't you think
expensive too.
the government will be thinking this thing is being sponsored by Labour Party? Do you think is that a far-fetched opinion?
Yes, yes, Doc. It's not far-fetched. That's the notion. That's what some people think. But like he says, it's a diaspora initiative. Those billboards are very expensive to hang out there. It has lightning, it has rotation, it has all those beautiful effects to it. So you can't have those things if with small amount of money. And I don't think Labour has that cash to sponsor such a project. So it's obviously some group of people that can afford it. And but what we should also look at is this should bother anybody. These are things, in fact, these are things that builds nation, creating awareness of asking for good governance, creating awareness for people to know how to follow suit in democracy. Dr. Shagun, you do a program called Democracy Talk. So these
Yes,
are
yes.
these are tips of what democracy is about, an awareness on the judiciary system, awareness on the executive system, executive arm of governance, awareness on the legislative arm, and all of this. So people understand the components of democracy. So it's funny that the federal government is using the ACON people to bring this down. They say the billboard is blackmailing the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal. They are giving so many things. They said it's capable of instigating public unrest and breach of public peace. But these are not true.
Okay.
This is not
Massive
true.
Mike, Massive
Such things.
Mike, Massive
Yes,
Mike.
yes.
Have you forgotten that? Yeah, they actually wanted to erect this billboard in Lagos, but the Lagos state government refused them. I've not seen it in Lagos. It's supposed to be all around the Nigerian. But Lagos state government, how they do. They wanted to erect it in, but they refused them. But you know what APC government or Bola Tinubu government is doing? This is just an assault to Nigerians and an assault to freedom of speech. You don't do this. You don't do this. Like I said earlier, we claim we run a democratic system of government, but this is not a democratic system of government. When people are not allowed to express themselves freely, destroying this thing is that you're taking the people's opinion, you're taking it away from them, you're taking people's freedom away from them. You don't run a country like this. Do you
Yeah,
understand?
you mentioned the word dictatorship. From the
Yes.
few weeks Tinubu has spent there, this one is the greatest dictatorial tendency, isn't it?
Of course it is. It is. And if you look at from the first day, from the speech he made when he was taking over a mountain of leadership, he just there. And when he was confronted after some days, he said it wasn't in the paper. And he just said it. And look at Nigerians, the suffering of Nigerians started the moment they pronounce you the president of Nigeria. That is still the sign of dictatorship. Do you understand? What you understand about this government? They don't analyze issue. They don't think through issue. They just stand up and they make a pronouncement. And the Nigerians are suffering for those actions and inactions of them. And they don't care about it. And one of them is this. We said we run a system of government that allow people to express themselves, allow people to unanimously, lead a country, lead a nation. But you come up and said, this is people's opinion. All eyes are on judiciary. I don't see anything wrong in that. All eyes on judiciary. Nigerians are watching them to see what they will do. Considering what they've done in the past, and you now dissolve a whole committee. It's purely dictatorship. I don't know what any other person might call it, but it is purely a dictatorship. And we don't
So
need it in Nigeria.
thank you. Mark, let's just project it a little bit further. If the
Yes, sir.
court, this presidential tribunal, if the court should say, okay, Tinubu is the winner, and then it goes to the Supreme Court and they say is the winner, we want to project a little bit. Does it mean that Tinubu will be dictatorial for the next 4 years if he has been finally approved by the judiciary? Is that the times we are now?
That's the times we are now. We know how he led when he was in Lagos as a governor. He has a cunning way of being a dictator, not that outright brutish dictatorial style, but a cunning way. But anyhow it is, people are being held down under his power. So if the court goes ahead to say all of this, we're in for a much bigger. We saw with Buhari will be child's play, because Buhari still had some manner of setbacks. So, but we're going to see a strong dictatorial democracy, if there's anything like that, and that would be trouble. Yes, dictatorial democracy. Can you imagine that in a figure of speech?
Yeah.
Dictatorial. That's what
We simply say dictatorial tendencies. Well, well, we will be bringing more stories on that as the weeks go by, because it's not going to be the first thing, and neither will it be the last that this administration may do. Didi is right. In Lagos, anything that is not favorable to Tinubu is pulled down. I think they're still sucking on what happened during the election when Tinubu lost the election in Lagos. He's generally known as the city boy in Lagos, and the city boy lost Lagos. That record can never be erased. The city boy lost in Lagos. I mean, especially when you look at the last mega rally that APC had in Lagos just before the presidential election. Everybody acknowledged that Chicago City Boy has arrived, including Oseni Rufai of Arise News. He says, yes, the City Boy has come to show. All to know that it was all a ruse. He lost in Lagos. And I don't think APC has ever forgiven, or definitely not Sanwo-Olu. Sanwo-Olu has not forgiven Lagos for that. And so
They will never forgive Lagosians for that. It has been ingrained in their mind. They will never forgive Lagosians for that. And I tell you, Lagosians are paying for that now. If you see
yes,
the kind
I
of
believe so.
policies they are rolling out in Lagos, the things that the Lagosians are paying for that, and I don't know when that is going to stop. I don't know. I pray that if they court finally pronounces President Tinubu as the winner of this, I pray that he mellows down, because if he continue in his own way. Now, let me give you a tip of what you say. Mike said that he has a cunning way of being a dictatorship. Now, I said it earlier. For the first time in Nigeria, a politician is ruling Nigeria. All the people that have ruled Nigeria in the past, none of them has been a politician. Tinubu is a politician. Now, from the history, from this what I read, he started his political career from the 70s. And he comes now and tell us that he wants to take away Nigeria and take over our country. Now I ask, from who? Certainly from you, because you've been there. He has a way of telling you, he come and say, I know the brunt of the subsidy removal is hurting on you people, but take it easy. He massages you and he'll be biting you. He's good at that. He is really a politician. He know what you Nigerians want to hear, and he will tell them what they want to hear. And he have his way, and nobody can stop it.
Thank you so much for that analysis. Let's move on to price hike on fuel. Many people believe that there's going to be a price hike any moment from now. The petroleum importers are saying that they can no longer afford to sell on these 583 naira per liter anymore. They want it over 700 naira. And Tinubu has come out to say that no, it's not going to happen. Or probably, like what I heard, that there's going to be a temporary subsidy. Mark, you have more news on this?
Yes, we all have news on this. We had that yesterday. The special advisor to the president on media and publicity, a young man called Ajuri in Gelala, he came out to make an address and said there will be no petroleum price hike as far as he's concerned. With all assurance that Tinubu has promised Nigerians this. He also highlighted the commitment to maintain what they call competitive petroleum marketing in Nigeria. The man also spoke a lot about how they want to address the inefficiency within the mainstream, the downstream petroleum subsectors, and to maintain a price people can have direct once in a one-time access to petroleum prices instead of the up and down fluctuation that we see. So all this came out yesterday night in the day. But it's coming in a time when NNPC, this is where the argument now comes in. NNPC has said there are no plans for pump price of petroleum. Yes, NNPC said so. But some people inside NNPC are saying Nigerians should be ready. There's going to be a hike in the price. So confused situation around Dr. Shagun.
Confused situation. But the question is, if the plan, according to Aguileri, that there will be no price hike, what if the plan is to bring about temporary subsidy? Is it not that the boys who are used to get the money of subsidy, they're no longer getting it, and they say, look, Tinubu, bring something like temporary subsidy. Let the people be happy. With this price, we can always keep low, but let the money flow out. Because Tinubu said they have saved 1 trillion naira in the last 4 weeks. So why do they want to squander the 1 trillion naira? Why will they set up a subsidy? Is it not for the big boy?
Everything so far from, this is now what we call from underground source. Everything so far we've had from our President Tinubu on that oil subsidy, they say is not true. In fact, the Nigerian Labour Congress man is also saying it's not true. That's Joe Ajiro. They say it's not true. They've not realized anything. The subsidy has not brought in any income yet. So a lot of stories. So like I was saying before, there's confusion, but what we are looking at now is the Labour Congress on Monday said they will go on strike again if there is any rise to the petroleum price. And Nigeria was also confirming that it looks like there's going to be. So the federal government is saying something else. Labour Congress is saying something else. On the ground, NNPC and oil stakeholders are saying
They're
something.
singing another tune.
So
Okay,
this is
Billy, you are on the ground, and I want you to react to two questions. Number one, how will you receive the news that there will be no more price hike? Will that make you happy, or is like, excuse me, life is difficult already, let the price go down? And secondly, how will you react to they want to bring temporary subsidy when everybody knew that it was a scam? So these are two major issues.
Dr. Shagu, none of these statements will actually make me happy. One, there's not going to be a hike, meaning that we have now agreed to stay on where we are. That's 680 naira per liter. And with that price, I can imagine what life is for an average Nigerian today. What average Nigerians are saying that this price should get down. But now look at in Nigerian government body today, there's a problem, like Massive Mike say. The presidency is saying a different thing. The oil marketers are saying a different thing. The NNPC is saying a different thing. Now, my fear is this: let that political and monism not come into it, because tomorrow the federal government will come. There will be a hike, and federal government will tell you it's not us, it's the Marketers Association of Nigeria. It's not us, it's NNPC. Do you understand? That is what might likely happen in near future. Having in mind that the federal government has actually said that fuel is going to be sold for 1,000 naira. They said it. I think that is their target. Now, Anjari Agule said that there's already a deregulation, that Nigerian governments are coming together, the downstream and the upstream, to discuss and see a way they will reverse the policy in the petroleum sector. Now, my question is this: reversing this policy, is it going back to the what price used to be when the past president of Nigeria was still in power, President Buhari? So whatever way they see it now, at the present state we are, it does not favor an average Nigeria. So telling us that it's not going to go down, or it will still go down, is still suffocating an average Nigeria.
How
So
about if the government says they have gone to see people are suffering, therefore we want to introduce temporary subsidy?
what is temporary subsidy? We don't need it. We don't. Nigerians don't need temporary subsidy. Temporary subsidy, you tell us, oh, for 6 months, or like they want to give an average Nigerian 8,000 naira for 6 months. Abi, that's a temporary subsidy. And what would that do for a life of an average Nigerian? We don't need it. We need things to work. Temporary subsidy could be 6 months or 1 year. Then you come back harder to what you're going through. It's not what we need. What Nigerians need now is a total solution to what their financial situation today in Nigeria. That is what an average Nigerian need. We don't need the temporary subsidy, because, like you said earlier, that temporary subsidy is actually going to favor few Nigerians who have been benefiting from this oil subsidy. That's it's going to
Okay,
benefit.
we thank you very much, Billy. We have the pleasure of having Dr. Godwin Ibe. Doctor, you're welcome to the program. Dr. Ibe, unmute yourself. Dr. Ibe, can you hear me? We cannot hear you. We can see you, but we can't hear you. Studio, is there anything we can do to his audio? Anyway, I wanted to ask him his reaction to temporary subsidy. Is this a way to give the boys money again? Is that what Tinubu is trying to do, Mark? The boys want to get
Am
money.
I audible by any means?
Yeah, now you
Hello.
are audible. You're
Okay,
welcome
thank
to
you
the
so much.
program.
Thank you so much. So you said you wanted to ask me about
Temporary subsidy. Is that what Nigeria wants, or is this a way for Tinubu to give the boys money?
there are two things. The first thing is, what is the short-term strategy and what is the long-term strategy? In terms of cancellation, introduction of some kind of palliative, it
No,
might
no,
make
no. Subsidy to the
subsidy.
yes, to the purchase of petroleum into the country, so that the people might pay less money, not palliatives.
No, fuel subsidy, it's a terrible idea. It has always been a terrible idea, and it always remain a terrible idea, because in reality, it's only a few people who benefit from it. While Nigerians are thinking that it's the fuel subsidy that is keeping their price low, it actually isn't it. There are other things that could be done to improve or to control, regulate the price. That increasing production, like a refiner, hoping that it gets done quickly, and also stimulating producers, or improving the disposable income of citizens, but not in the particular format it is at the moment. And also, there might be this argument that more palliatives needs to be done, coming from the backdrop of the government being very loose with spending, increase in government spending. We saw the video of the senators giving themselves money to enjoy their holidays. So citizens will say, why do I need to be more patriotic than the senators, or more patriotic than the government? Why should I suffer for the long-term interests of the country if our government don't understand what it means to, sacrifice? So, of course, there should be some more support, but it's not the way of fuel subsidy.
We're told that the token given by the Senate to the senators was a token of 2 million naira, and they should just manage it. Bidi, how will you manage 2 million naira if we were to send you 2 million naira?
I like that smile on your face. And the thing that you can imagine. See, it's what I said earlier. Dr. Shaibu, these people, keep calling our bluff the bluff of Nigerians. It's an insult to us. Now, let me take it a little backward. Earlier, they budgeted 40 billion naira for few officials of NAS to buy bulletproof car for them. Then, before you know it, 70 billion naira for the senators. Now, 2 million. You know what 2 million means to an average Nigerian? If you give somebody who is running business in Nigeria 2 million naira, in the next 3 months, you'll be surprised at what the person is going to give you.
How much is your business summit going to cost?
It's just 13 million.
The whole summit.
That's for 120 people. Now, I can divide it. That's for 120 people. Divide it now. Do you understand? They will not even get.
And there is no way you can get to the Senate president.
I speak to them now. Would I even talk to you? So this is an insult to Nigerians. You understand the stage at which Nigerian citizens are into, and you're saying a token of 2 million naira for them to go and enjoy themselves. I don't blame them. Was it not in the house that they said, let the poor pray? No, it becomes a problem to me that the citizens, themselves, they are not understanding what these people are doing to them and to their psychic. So that is why they say just a token of 2 million naira.
We'll be looking further into the economy of Nigeria. Oshiomhole said that Tinubu inherited terrible economic situation from the last administration. We are puzzled that Oshiomhole can talk about Buhari administration in that manner. We'll go on a short break. When we return, we'll still focus on Tinubu's economic orders. He has sanctioned some individuals. We'll be looking at that. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Arise, oh, compatriots, Nigeria's call, obey to Oh God of creation, direct our
Be this world, changing your mindset.
My Isaac. I am visually impaired.
I'm a cripple. I'm crippled in both legs.
I'm a builder. If you people can able to get me a laptop or smart big phone to be cover project.
Baba Aduko from Nigerians of the Blind in Lagos State. All I just need now is a smartphone. I don't mind any type. Just for me to be selling my products and facilitate my job. With a smartphone with me, I can do my free traveling on the line and I don't need to beg anybody for money again.
Business Summit and Fair 4th edition is set to digitalize physically challenged business owners by gifting them smartphones, laptops to enable them to do their business properly and effortlessly. Business Summit and Fair is an annual advocacy business program advocating for friendly business environment for SMEs in Nigeria and physically challenged business owners. Since the inception of this program, we've revived so many SMEs and taken up the streets so many beggars, inculcating in them the spirit of owning and doing their own businesses. Since after the COVID, many of them have been left behind for lack of having smartphones and laptops. Then they used to have their businesses along the road or in a marketplace. Now there's a need for them to be carried along into the e-market, and we need to do that by gifting them smartphones and laptops. Join us this year, 21st September 2023 at Radisson Hotel Ikeja GRA as we have our annual events, digitalizing physically challenged business owner. It's the topic for this year. Be part of Business Summit and Fair, where you will learn, discuss, and exhibit your products and services. Join us this year, 21st September 2023, at Radisson Hotel Ikeja GRA for Business Summit and Fair 4th edition. My name is Bidi Nana. I'm the convener of Business Summit and Fair.
It's a laudable one. This is a way of contributing to the society, and this is a kind of a project that's supposed to be done by every individual.
It's a very fantastic one because many Nigerians use this exactly what we need. Unfortunately, we're not getting enough of it. The aspect of the school is not really supplying this path that is more practical and direct to life.
I really want to thank BD World for what they are doing. Even despite the challenges, they still forge ahead to put this together, and I believe the next one should be a bigger one and better than this.
I'm a journalist, an author, blogger, presenter, stop rape advocate, people living with disability ambassador, and I'm also a humanitarian. My major aim in life is to impact lives, and part of it is what I'm doing. And I'm inviting you to join me to make this possible.
Be this world, changing your mindset.
Welcome back to News Echoes on Nigerian Affairs. BD, tears filled my eyes, and we're so proud to be associated with you for this lofty ideal to bring the physically challenged citizens to the digital world. I know that Radisson Blu is an upper scale market, and you will need sponsors into that one. those who want to sponsor you, what do you think? Where can they contribute to sponsor? We're talking. You are representing people who don't have a lot of money. I'm talking of the physically challenged ones, so they may not have money to support. Where do you think people can pay into whatever they want to use to support this lofty ideal?
The campaign to there's a portal on my website. I think it should be rolling. The campaign there, whatever they want to support with, this digitalizing the physically challenged people. It's actually something that is very close to me. There are people I've been working with for the past 10 years, and we've been able to take them through so many trainings and introduce them into owning their own business, and they were doing fantastically well, not until after the COVID. And many of them now, they don't even have smartphones or laptops to be in the e-market. So I'm really soliciting
So,
for.
if somebody says, "Look, I don't know how to give money out because I'm in Russia, I'm in China, I'm not living in Nigeria," can they send in smartphones directly to you or
Wonderfully.
laptop?
Exactly, that's exactly what I'm looking for. What is why? Of course, send me laptops,
Mm,
send me use laptop, use phones, smartphones to address in Lagos, and I will get it. Even if you have wheelchair, crutches, do you understand? Arm enhancer for all these disabled people. Please feel free to send to me. The address is in Lagos, 55 Adeboye Mokolu and Sony Village, Lagos State. Just send it to me and I'll receive it. Or even you can go to my website and we can talk. There's a number there, you can call me. Please support me to get to these people. I've actually been doing it all alone for the past years, but I feel I should solicit for help because one company that has been actually been sponsoring me, they're having a problem with the exchange rate. So it's actually affecting them. They're telling me
Okay,
that I don't know what we can do
okay.
this year.
I'm happy my colleagues are listening to you and people are listening to you all over the world. We have Sir George in Mr. Sir George, welcome to the program.
Salute, I'm saluting you all the way from Warsaw in Poland. I'm just close to Dr. Ibe, actually.
I can't
Yes,
believe what you're saying. Warsaw. That is a major town in history. You know that one.
Of course, of course, of course. I'm covering a
For
lot
those
of.
who don't know, I've never been to Warsaw, but I know that that is where the Eastern Bloc got their convention ratified and things like that. Before
Yes,
we
it's a.
ask you to talk about Warsaw for us, you listen to your sister, Bidi. How can we help her? How can the whole world help her?
Well, I am so happy that she's doing what she's doing from that spirit of philanthropy. Bidi has been helping the poor, the maimed, the disadvantaged in Nigeria, and this is something that is so great. But the beauty of what she's doing is that there are so many people around the world today, when given the opportunity and the easy way of helping her, even when she's asking for used telephones and used laptops, believe me, there are so many companies that are willing to give you brand new ones. And hopefully they will be listening to this event today, or it will reach them later, and they'll reach out to you to know how they can send you even brand new ones. Because when new phones and new laptops are coming up, sometimes they have excess that they want to write off in taxes or whatever the case might be, and they'll be able to send it to you. So we're calling around the world today. If you're listening from wherever you are, in Europe, East Europe, West Europe, South America, from Americas, whatever, Africa, please let's help our lady to help the poor. It is more blessed to give than to receive,
Yeah.
according to the word. Yes. So
Thank you very much. Dr. Ibe, you are in a very influential position, and we know Russia is high on the digital. You think there is a help that can come from Russia? If they cannot send money, refurbished smartphone, like Sir Josh said, even new ones, they can still package it. She has an address on her website.
yes, I think it's a very commendable project, and it's something that even we are looking to how to partner and integrate on a higher level. But yeah, we're still looking into it. It may not be possible this year, but we definitely want to partner for such kind of useful project. Now concerning sponsorship from companies, yeah, it's something that I have to reach out and know how much companies are willing to make foreign direct investments, whether it's through second-hand items or capital infusion.
Thank you, Dr. Ibe. I'm just mindful of the time. Bidi, for the last question, how much do they sell a wheelchair in Nigeria, a fairly used good wheelchair?
The last one I bought for some people, the last time I bought for some people, I bought 3. That was in 2019, before COVID. Because some of them, most time they'll come to me, my wheelchair is bad, my crutches is bad. I bought it at National Stadium. It was really bad. I bought one for 36,000, so I bought 3. And it wasn't.
Okay.
It was fairly.
Okay.
I think
Let us
it
put
was
some
used by
inflation.
someone.
Let us say it is 50,000 naira now. We don't know how much. Maybe you will bring us next Wednesday or Friday how much one is. If it is 50,000 naira from London, I personally will donate three wheelchairs. You will then go and buy it. And when you come with the prices, people will come and we will tell them, you will tell them that you will buy it on their behalf, and you will take the video and you will show the world. And when you are presenting this, is that a good way to start?
It's a good way. But I have accounts on that this thing I sent to you people. I don't know if Massive Man can roll it. Maybe for people who want to make some donation, they can do.
Okay. And if it's not rolling, we can go and look at it in your website.
Can you tell us your website again?
www.bdsword.tv.
Bidis World.
Bidis World.
Bidis World. Bidis and BEADYS WORLD.TV.
Okay.
You see their donation. Yeah, donation is there.
.tv. Okay. Oh, thank you very much. We'll leave that there.
Maybe before we close, we will scroll everything for the people.
Maybe before we close, somebody has donated 1 million naira. Who knows what God can do? Who knows what God can do? Mm-hmm. Yes, Sir George.
Yes.
Oshiomhole said that the Tinubu administration inherited terrible economic situation, and people are wondering. Oshiomhole was the chairman of APC until he was removed. Oshiomhole is the senator representing his senatorial district currently. And how can he just rubbish Buhari administration? Or what do you read into this?
Well, you see, when you're asking questions or expecting answers from people that don't even know the questions, that's what you get. You are an APC pillar, and your administration has been in power for the past 8 years, and you were one of the prominent people in that administration, and you come out thinking that you're going to be excusing yourself and excusing the party while you're shooting the party at your foot. This is the height of ignorance and stupidity, if you ask me. I'm sorry to use that language, but some of these politicians in Nigeria, they feel the impetus to just come out and say whatever they want without thinking. And this is part of that reason why we are really clamoring for people of intelligence and people. This is what you call kakistocracy in Nigeria, where ignorant fools will come out and want to become leaders, and they don't even know what the questions are, and they're trying to give you answers. Are you telling us that the administration for the past 8 years that has brought Nigeria on their knees and right now on the belly, are you telling us that people voted for you and now you turn around to excuse them? It's just so crazy. Sometimes we need to take these people back to school, so for them to understand what people are going through. There is no excuses for what we are going through today in the past 8 years and going to the 9th year of APC rule in Nigeria. It's just crazy.
he happened to be the chairman of that political party, and now coming to rubbish it as if it was another party that brought us to our knees. Dr. Ibe, looking at this one, you tend to think it's all a joke, as they want to bring back subsidy, they want to oppress the opposition, they want to remove all billboards. Is this where we have found ourselves?
Yeah, when there's no, I don't know what to call it. Do I say underlying principle? Or even maybe knowledge? Do I say education?
Or ideology? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or ideology. Basic underlying. You seem to be going everywhere but nowhere. Take one step forward and two step backward. It just doesn't make sense. We expect more from leadership, having an idea why they do things, and so that they can build up on progress that, even though it's little, but whatever progress that has been made, to be able to build up on it. Obviously, we all bear responsibility for what has been going on, both the leadership, both the citizenry, because there's no one else to take the responsibility for our country. We have to take it ourselves, and we are all doing our best. And the way we can continue to do that is to continue to contribute to the discourse, voting the right people, and don't take short-term palliatives and mortgage our future, and get the kind of terrible policies that we are seeing. Obviously, we need more production of oil and gas.
Okay. Sorry to cut you. Sir George just used the word crazy again, bringing the worst competent people to rule. How come Nigerians always bring in the worst competent to rule, which Oshiomhole just said now?
Because it's a very simple it's a very simple.
Is it poverty?
Need hierarchy according to Maslow.
Okay.
If when you have hierarchy of needs, you have food security. When someone can guarantee his 3 square meals, and someone is telling him, well, here is a morsel of bread. I need that birthright. And the person looks and says, well, I don't even know what this birthright can do for me. I rather take this, loaf of bread, or that I'm sure of now. And mortgage something that I don't know what it will yield me in the future. And so obviously it's poverty and lack of education. There's no belief that if you do away with that short-term promise, that you definitely get a brighter future. There's no belief in the future of the country, and that's
a very sad one. I'll come back to you in a minute. Bidi, it appears that things are not getting better with the Tinubu administration. Usually, it always gets better as soon as a new administration. But you are feeling the heat. How is the heat doing economically? The one who Oshiomhole said, "Oh, we inherited a bad economic situation."
It's laughable.
Bidi, we can't hear you. Okay, we'll have to come back to Bidi.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Yeah.
The heat has burnt down many Nigerians. Now, one thing we should understand is this: from day one, what APC did was to rescue power for Buhari. And if you remember, during the Buhari tenure, they keep blaming PDP. Everything they say PDP. Now, I am surprised that after 8 years, 9 years going now they've changed to individual. It's no longer party. Now what they are telling you, it was Buhari, it's not Tinubu. It's just one thing. They are novice of everything. They don't know anything. What they keep doing there is try and log. Oh, they tried this one, it worked. They were praised. They tried this one. But the worst part of LPC government, the propaganda they are using to rule Nigeria is what is destroying Nigeria. They don't do anything. They don't know anything. But they use the propaganda. They use the media. The thing is that they know how to use the media, and they use the media.
I have a quick question for you. I'm very proud of two cities in Nigeria. I'm talking of Abuja and Lagos. They saw beyond other cities. I mean, they were both federal capital at one time, and one still the federal capital, and they voted against Tinubu. I mean, very obvious in Abuja. I mean, indeed, obvious in Lagos, because Tinubu lost in Lagos, where everybody thought he was the landlord. So, is that not a good way to think at least on his way out?
Now, after voting against him, what happened? What happened? What was the fate of voting against him? Did he not have his way? Dr. Shaibu, after voting against him in Abuja and in Lagos, what happened? Does it make any effect? Did he not have his way?
Okay. Maybe Sir George wants to answer that one. So it's a waste of time.
It is a waste of time, because look at this. Look at this. Somebody just said a couple of days ago that talking about coup d'etat. There is a military coup d'etat, but there are also election coup d'etat. And this is exactly what we are going through in Nigeria. Now, the problem that we're having in this country today is that the leaders are confused. They have no master plan of any kind. How to restore everything to Nigeria is about, like Bidi said it right, trial and error. When the pressure is on, they will come together, they will find excuses. Now, all of a sudden, they're talking about bringing back the subsidy. Okay, what are the plans when you're thinking of bringing back the subsidy? What would you be doing to bring back the subsidy? How many percentage of the subsidy are you going to do? What is that going to help with the people? Is it only gas or petrol? What else about the palliatives that are right now? People are in dire need of it. These people are devoid of intelligence and any kind of plan whatsoever in how to bring the country to where it's supposed to be. Now, you are talking about going to war in Niger Republic, while people are still suffering. You can use the money that you're trying to put with the soldiers there to help your country and bring back a little bit of fairness to the people, a little bit of health and sustenance to the people, rather than thinking from the back, because all they do is to protect their position as politicians, protecting one another. But the days are gone when these things will be able to work, because the status quo is no longer the key thing that is happening in Africa today. They are rejecting the neo-colonial masters and the ways they are doing things, and you will see a new movement. I know you guys must have talked about the federal government removing, the signs that are out there that all eyes are on the judiciary.
Yes.
Okay, can you just imagine? Okay, these are the things that they are doing, thinking that people are not paying attention. They can try it, they can remove those signs, but all eyes on the judiciary. Because if eventually the truth does not come out, people will go out there and revolt. What is happening in Niger right now is a perfect example. The colonial masters, French country and some of these other countries that have been siphoning and raping West African countries or African countries economically, right now is coming down to the wire, and they will see the difference in what has been and what is going on right now.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Ibe. Oh, the next question was for Dr. Ibe, because Russia just told ECOWAS to hands off. Russia told ECOWAS to hands off, never to go into a military war with Niger. What does that mean in concrete terms?
It means that Russia thinks that it will be a costly mistake, and there will be costs connected with such a decision. Now, whether Russia will directly help to make those costs certain is left to be seen. But what we know is that Niger has asked for Russia's help. Russia's Wagner forces has been deployed. They've completed deployment. It's completed. And the borders between Niger and other countries, I think Chad, Algeria, something like this, is being protected. There's a special name they call that angle in Niger Republic that's being heavily guarded. So yeah, they are definitely going to be cost. We can see it in Syria, the devastation affecting the civilians who mostly suffer. In fact, anybody who gives out their land for war is going to pay a hefty price.
Wow. So it means that they're going to outsource the war of Ukraine to Niger again. And while Ukraine was a developed country, Niger is not in any form. So their poverty will increase. And we can say for sure it's going to devastate the rest of West Africa.
You only need to look at the satellite images of Ukraine to understand how Niger will be.
Wow.
Just take satellite imagery of Syria, satellite imagery of Ukraine, and then you will understand how Niger will be in a couple of months.
Will it be Niger alone, or don't you think it will spill into neighboring countries?
Obviously, an attack by ECOWAS soldiers will lead to the revenge, or do I say of ECOWAS soldiers. How it will spill, obviously it will, because soldiers that are supposed to be fighting insurgency and religious terrorists will now be taking to their eyes off the ball to another ball. So obviously, yes.
But France and America may be thinking, oh, it's going to take only 2 weeks and we will remove the coup piece and that will be the end. Will it be something like that?
So they thought about Bashar al-Assad. So they thought about regime change in Russia. They keep on thinking and building castles in the air. But the fact is that when big geopolitical powers draw a red line, then the costs are very, very high.
Yeah, Dr. Sir George, you think these people are taking the right decision to go into war because it's still on the table?
The point is this: I don't think Russia have the moral rights to go into Niger Republic.
Why?
Because what is the reason being this? Okay, the Wagner people that they are coming, they are hiring right now. Are the Wagner people, are they Russian government tools, or are they independent paramilitary group that is going into this place?
Niger Republic wants to survive.
It's the height of, come on, it's the height of, I don't know what to call it. Let me try and be as mild as possible. If Wagner doesn't have the right, then who does? Let's just put it this way. Who does?
Because this is another way of milking these African countries. We ought to be ashamed of ourselves to allow such things to be happening from another European country. Listen to this though. I understand what they are doing. They're desperate. They need help. But the point is this: we've come to the point where Africa needs to, sit on their own, be their own lord and master, and determine their destinies. But all of a sudden, we are. That's exactly where we need to come to, because right now
we need time to
Russia
build that
into this place.
We need time to build that leverage. We need time to build that
leverage. To invite Russia into this, look at what's happening in Mali. Look at what's happening. Is it at a cost of what? That's the question.
There's no vacuum in geopolitics. If you don't defend something, somebody will go in and defend it. So see what happened to Saddam Hussein. You created a vacuum. Well, ISIS came around. You created a vacuum with Bashar al-Assad. Well, thank you. Say hallelujah to ISIS. There's no vacuum. If you don't do the job, somebody else will. They lack security, and if they don't get security help, somebody else will help establish the geopolitical
Bidi, lastly, are you ready for war in Lagos?
We're not ready, and Nigerians have been saying it. Even our Senate, they've told the president that we are not ready. Well, I wonder who are pushing him. You remember just yesterday, the United States of America told Tinubu to put more pressure in Niger. Nigerians are not ready, and they are not part of it. It's just Mr. President.
We'll continue this discussion. We'll continue this discussion on Friday. I think we need to tell the whole world Nigerians are saying we are not ready for war because we really don't know the end of any war. That's how far we can go today. It's my duty to thank Sir George from Warsaw, that wonderful city, Ibe from Moscow, Bidi from Lagos, Mark from Milan, and we'll see on Friday to discuss more. God bless you all.